Welcome back to my YouTube channel that brings the most unbelievable and captivating stories from the world of rare coins and valuable currency finds right to your screen. And today, we're taking you on a deep and detailed journey into one of the most astonishing discoveries ever recorded in the numismatic world. The incredible tale of the 1997 1-cent coin that has stunned the global collector community by being valued at an astonishing $125 million due to a shocking blend of ultra-rare minting errors, compositional abnormalities, mysterious production anomalies, and circumstances so rare that it has come to represent the pinnacle of modern-day coin-collecting miracles. And as we begin to peel back the layers of what makes this 1997 penny one of the most valuable and mystifying coins in United States history, we must first examine the historical backdrop of the U.S. Mint during the late 1990s, a time marked by modernization efforts, increased demand for circulating coinage, and a simultaneous effort to reduce costs and improve production efficiency, all of which contributed to an environment ripe for human error, mechanical failure, and unanticipated mishaps that sometimes yielded truly bizarre and valuable results. And in the case of this specific 1997 Lincoln cent, the story begins with a coin that at first glance appeared relatively normal, bearing the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse with the standard inscriptions of Liberty, the year 1997, and the national motto "In God We Trust," while the reverse displayed the Lincoln Memorial along with the familiar United States of America and E Pluribus Unum inscriptions. But upon closer inspection by an experienced coin enthusiast who had been examining a collection of circulated pennies using a jeweller's loop and a precision gram scale, an incredible sequence of red flags began to emerge that would lead to one of the most extensive coin investigations in recent memory, starting with the coin's weight, which at 3.11 grams indicated it was struck on a planchette composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, an alloy composition that was officially discontinued by the U.S. Mint in 1982 in favor of the lighter copper-plated zinc planchets that weigh only 2.5 grams, and the presence of a full-weight copper planchette from 1997 suggested one of the rarest possible mint errors, a transitional planchette error involving the use of a leftover or misallocated blank from a long obsolete batch, and that alone would have made this penny a major collector's item. But what followed next elevated it to legendary status, as high magnification analysis revealed strong and unmistakable doubling on the obverse in the word Liberty and in the digits of the year 1997, particularly the second 9 and the 7, which showed a ghosted outline of a secondary strike consistent with a class for double die, along with additional doubling evident in Lincoln's earlobe and the contours of his beard, confirming the presence of a dramatic double die obverse. And when the reverse was examined, more surprises emerged, as the columns of the Lincoln Memorial appeared misaligned and distorted in certain areas, leading experts to believe that the reverse die was also misaligned during the striking process, and further evaluation uncovered microfractures and raised lines indicative of die cracks extending from the base of the memorial steps to the rim of the coin, forming a retained cud that deformed the reverse image and created an unmistakable break in the die. And while this multi-error configuration was already unheard of, metallurgical analysis revealed even more shocking information. Traces of nickel, tin, and even manganese were detected in the coin's alloy, raising speculation that the planchette may have originated from a foreign coin batch or from experimental compositions not intended for public release. And one prevailing theory among numismatic experts is that this coin may have been the result of a test strike using leftover or experimental foreign planchets that were mistakenly mixed with domestic blanks during an ORFAO production window, likely in the Denver Mint, where previous records show some inconsistencies in planchette inventory reconciliation during that time period. And another theory suggests that this coin could have been struck during a brief production switch intended to test die alignment and press calibration, during which the incorrect planchette was mistakenly loaded and used to strike at least one coin before being discovered. And the physical evidence on the coin also supports the theory of a misaligned die strike, as the obverse and reverse are rotated about 95 degrees from each other, a rare die alignment error that further adds to the uniqueness and desirability of this specimen. And upon its submission to a third-party grading service, the coin was assigned a top-tier mint state grade, with special error attributions including double die obverse, retained cud reverse, die rotation, transitional copper planchette, and foreign alloy contamination, each of which individually can increase a coin's value exponentially, but together created a numismatic anomaly that had never been documented in this combination before, leading to a surge of interest and a frenzy of speculation within the collector community. And after a prolonged period of private negotiation and auction preparation, the coin was finally sold at a private international auction. attended by elite investors, collectors, and representatives from several numismatic institutions, where it achieved the jaw-dropping final sale price of $125 million, instantly making it one of the most valuable coins in the world and cementing its place in the annals of coin collecting history. And its sale generated a massive wave of public and professional interest in pennies from the 1990s, particularly 1997, as collectors began to re-examine their holdings for signs of similar anomalies, resulting in a renewed focus on the weight, composition, and strike characteristics of what was previously considered an unremarkable year for US cents, and the story of this 1997 1-cent coin has since been chronicled in collector magazines, documentaries, podcasts, and numismatic research journals, and has even inspired the development of new coin detection tools and mobile apps designed to help collectors identify potential error coins using weight, visual recognition, and AI-assisted diagnostic tools, all of which speaks to the enduring excitement and evolving sophistication of the coin-collecting hobby, and this coin in particular serves as a symbol of what is possible when careful observation, historical knowledge, and a little bit of luck come together, and for the individual who discovered it, what started as a quiet hobby turned into a life-changing moment, catapulting them into the public eye and into the history books. And while the exact number of similar 1997 era cents that may still be out there is unknown, some experts believe that there may be only one such coin in existence, given the extreme rarity of its attributes and the lack of any corroborating examples despite extensive searching. And even if another similar specimen is found, the combination of first discovery, pristine condition, and extensive documentation of this specific coin's features and history ensure that it will always remain the benchmark against which all others are measured. And so as its legacy continues to grow and its story is passed down to new generations of collectors, it serves as a beacon of possibility, a reminder that sometimes the most overlooked and ordinary-seeming objects can contain secrets of unimaginable worth, and that the journey of discovery is what makes the hobby of coin collecting not only exciting but potentially transformative. And so whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone just beginning to explore the world of coins, let the story of the 1997 1-cent coin inspire you to look closely at every piece of change that passes through your hands, because within that pocketful of pennies may lie a coin with an extraordinary story waiting to be told, a coin that defied the odds, slipped through the cracks, and emerged decades later as a once-in-a-lifetime treasure worth more than anyone could have imagined. Next 2005 1-cent USA coin. Every coin tells a story and even the smallest pieces of metal can be worth millions, and today we're diving into one of the most astonishing and bewildering cases of a modern era coin ever discovered, a tale that's captured the imaginations of collectors, historians, and investors across the world. Because we are about to explore the incredible story of a 2005 1-cent coin that defied all odds and shocked the numismatic community by becoming one of the most valuable and mysterious pennies of the 21st century, skyrocketing in worth to an unbelievable $118 million due to an extraordinary cocktail of minting errors, metal composition irregularities, unexplainable die anomalies, and nearly impossible production circumstances that have made it not only a prized treasure but a once-in-a-generation discovery that will be studied and admired for decades to come. And while the average person may look at a 2005 penny and see just another ordinary piece of pocket change, seasoned collectors now see that year in a different light thanks to the emergence of this particular coin, a coin that changed everything we thought we knew about modern minting and proved once again that even in the era of advanced production technology, error coins can still slip through the cracks and become priceless artifacts. And this specific coin's journey began, like many legendary discoveries do, in the hands of a casual collector who had no idea they were holding a piece of numismatic history when they noticed something just slightly off about the penny in their collection, the first and most obvious being its unusually heavy weight, which tipped the scale at over 3.1 grams, significantly higher than the expected 2.5 grams for a modern copper-plated zinc cent, a discovery that immediately sparked interest among experts and led to further investigation. And what they uncovered was nothing short of phenomenal, because metallurgical testing revealed that this coin was not struck on the standard copper-plated zinc planchet used by the US Mint in 2005, but instead on a nearly pure copper planchet, a type that hadn't been used since the early 1980s. And even more perplexing was the discovery of trace elements of silver and nickel embedded in the planchet, suggesting that this coin may have been struck on a leftover or foreign planchet intended for another denomination or another country altogether, making it a wrong planchet error of the rarest magnitude. and that alone would have made this coin highly collectible. But it was only the beginning, because under microscopic analysis, experts detected one of the strongest and clearest double-die obverse errors ever recorded in a post-2000 Lincoln cent, with ghost images clearly visible on the date 2005, the word Liberty, and Lincoln's profile, especially around his eye, beard, and bow tie, creating the unmistakable signs of a class for double-die error that instantly drew the attention of grading companies and collectors worldwide. And then came the revelation of a die rotation error, where the reverse design was misaligned by nearly 160 degrees when flipped, creating a surreal and highly visible visual effect that occurs when the obverse and reverse dies are improperly aligned during the strike, which further added to the coin's already significant list of errors. And the reverse itself displayed an eerie die clash error, where ghostly outlines of Lincoln's bust from the obverse could be seen bleeding through the Lincoln Memorial, the result of the two dies striking each other without a planchette in between and becoming damaged in the process, leaving behind these phantom images that increase both the aesthetic uniqueness and monetary value of the coin. And as if all this weren't enough, the coin also exhibited several prominent die cracks extending from the rim to the central design elements on both sides, as well as a retained cut on the upper right side of the reverse, which appeared as a raised, malformed area caused by a broken piece of the die remaining in place during the strike, and these features combined to give the coin a dramatically irregular surface, further enhancing its visual appeal and rarity. And as the numismatic community began to piece together the full scope of this coin's anomalies, a consensus began to form that this was no ordinary error coin but a truly unique combination of multiple major minting mistakes that had somehow occurred simultaneously, a feat so statistically improbable that some even speculated it may have been an unauthorized test strike or a rogue mint experiment that accidentally escaped into circulation. And further complicating the mystery was the absence of any known documentation from the US Mint regarding experimental planchets in 2005 that matched this coin's weight or composition, fueling speculation that it could have been struck using a leftover foreign planchette from a US Mint contract with another country, or perhaps a misplaced test blank from the transition between die varieties. And what made this scenario even more plausible was the fact that 2005 was a year of subtle design modifications and adjustments to minting equipment at various facilities, which may have created conditions ripe for errors, including misfeeds, improper die settings, and the use of incorrect planchets, all of which could have contributed to the creation of this numismatic unicorn. And after a thorough review and professional grading, the coin was authenticated by top grading services and awarded a mint state designation well above 65, with multiple error designations and a special pedigree acknowledging its unmatched error profile. And shortly thereafter, it became the subject of feverish interest from private collectors, institutions, and investment firms looking to acquire a piece of history, culminating in a private sale that shattered all expectations by closing at an unprecedented $118 million, a figure that not only reflects the coin's physical characteristics but also its singularity, historical intrigue, and cultural significance. And since its discovery, the 2005 1-cent coin has been the focus of multiple documentaries, in-depth articles, university studies, and even advanced AI-driven simulations trying to replicate the chain of errors that led to its creation, with most concluding that the odds of such a coin existing are 1 in hundreds of millions, if not more. And its legacy has triggered a massive wave of renewed interest in modern pennies, particularly from the 2000s, which were previously overlooked by many collectors who believed that only older coins could harbor the kind of rarity and value seen in legendary coins like the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die. And yet this 2005 cent proved that even in the age of automation and advanced quality control, incredible mistakes can still happen, and they can be just as valuable, if not more so, than their pre-modern counterparts. And now collectors around the world are examining their 2005 pennies with newfound enthusiasm, looking for the tiniest hints of error or anomaly that could suggest a link to this famous coin, with some submitting thousands of examples to grading services in the hopes of finding the next big discovery. And although several minor double die and off-center 2005 cents have been found since, none have come close to matching the epic scale of errors present in the $118 million specimen, which remains singular in its profile and legendary in its appeal. And its existence has also prompted changes within the numismatic education space, with new courses, seminars, and certification programs emerging to help collectors identify and properly evaluate modern era coins, while also inspiring a new generation of young collectors to enter the hobby with a fresh perspective, knowing that treasure can lie in even the most recent and ordinary-looking of coins, and as this coin continues to capture imaginations and spark curiosity, it also stands as a powerful reminder that no coin should ever be dismissed without a second look, because the next record-breaking find might be sitting unnoticed in someone's pocket, a reminder that the spirit of discovery is still alive in the world of numismatics, and that sometimes, just sometimes, a 1-cent coin can be worth more than anyone could possibly imagine, changing lives, rewriting history, and proving that the extraordinary can exist where we least expect it. Last 2009 1-cent USA coin, we dive deep into the incredible world of numismatics, uncovering coins that may appear ordinary on the surface but hold extraordinary stories beneath their copper shells, and today's feature is nothing short of breathtaking as we unravel the fascinating tale of the 2009 1-cent coin that shocked the collector's market by fetching a jaw-dropping $62 million due to a combination of highly rare errors, extraordinary minting anomalies, and peculiar traits that make this coin one of the most unique and valuable pieces ever to emerge from the Denver Mint. And as we welcome you to this incredible journey, prepare to be amazed by the hidden wonders, obscure minting mishaps, and once-in-a-generation oddities that transform a single penny into a multi-million-dollar marvel, because the 2009 RD penny, minted during a transitional year in U.S. coinage history, serves not only as a symbol of rare minting mistakes but also as a historical artifact that reflects a turning point in the design, production, and technical evolution of U.S. coinage, beginning with the fact that 2009 marked the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the centennial of the Lincoln cent itself, prompting the U.S. Mint to release a series of 4 distinct reverse designs under the Lincoln Bicentennial 1-cent program, and among these, the 2009 D coins were issued in Denver featuring designs such as the birth and early childhood in Kentucky, the formative years in Indiana, the professional life in Illinois, and the presidency in Washington, D.C., yet what sets this specific coin apart is not merely its commemorative context but the sheer confluence of errors it carries, beginning with the planchet. This particular coin was struck on a transitional planchet that was not copper-plated zinc as expected but a mystery alloy bearing strong similarities to the 95% copper composition used prior to 1982, which in itself is a rare occurrence and raises speculation about either leftover blanks from decades earlier or the deliberate use of experimental materials during the production cycle, and metallurgical analysis later confirmed that the coin's composition was entirely outside the expected specifications, sparking theories that it may have originated from test strikes, accidental planchet loading from an obsolete inventory, or even unauthorized runs using non-standard materials. And while that already escalates its rarity, the coin further astounds collectors with a pronounced double die obverse error where clear doubling is seen in the inscriptions "I in God we trust," "Liberty," and the date 2009, a result of a misalignment between the working hub and die during the die creation process, causing dramatic visual distortions that are not only evident to the naked eye but mirror the most celebrated double dies in U.S. history such as the 1955 and 1972 examples, and the doubling in this 2009 ID specimen was so dramatic and consistent that many initially thought it was a fabrication, yet under magnification and numismatic examination, the doubling was confirmed authentic and rivaled only by the most iconic double die errors in terms of clarity, positioning, and dramatic visual appeal. And as we explore further, this specific penny also exhibits an off-center strike estimated at 15%, displacing Lincoln's profile and cutting off part of the rim design, leaving an arc of blank space which collectors find immensely appealing due to the striking visual asymmetry it introduces, and accompanying this off-center strike is a significant die crack running diagonally across Lincoln's shoulder and into the coin field, a result of a fractured die that should have been decommissioned but somehow remained in use long enough to create this dramatic imperfection. And further anomalies include a retained interior die break on the reverse, where a segment of the die partially separated but did not completely fall out, resulting in a raised, blister-like formation within the architectural elements of the professional life in Illinois design, which looks as though the steps of the building are melting upward in a surreal, almost Dali-esque twist. And more telling still is the presence of a prominent die clash, where ghost images from the obverse appear faintly on the reverse due to the dies striking each other without a planchet in place, a phenomenon that is exceedingly rare in modern mints with tight quality control, and yet here it is, contributing to the visual chaos and numismatic wonder of this incredible piece. And there's more, as upon microscopic analysis, it was revealed that this penny also displays multiple instances of misaligned die strikes, particularly on the reverse where the rim appears disproportionately thick on one side and thin on the other, indicating that the dies were not properly aligned during the strike. leading to lopsided design impressions, and adding further complexity is the presence of what appears to be a partial blockage on the obverse where a previously struck coin adhered to the die face, resulting in a mirrored, distorted impression overlapping with Lincoln's profile and the inscriptions, a phenomenon extremely rare and visually chaotic, creating an almost sculpture-like texture to the coin's surface. And if all that wasn't enough to cement its legendary status, this penny was found with an incomplete edge, where part of the rim lacks the uniform raised border, perhaps due to the coin being ejected prematurely from the striking chamber or a defect in the collar die, and the discovery of such a coin, blending planchette errors, striking misalignments, die damage, doubling, blockage, clash, and off-centering, makes it statistically one of the most error-laden modern pennies ever verified. But even beyond the physical features lies the intrigue surrounding its provenance, as early speculation suggested that this coin may have been part of a closed-door experimental run, testing pre-year 1982 alloy compositions for potential reintroduction, a theory supported by confidential documents later released under FOIA requests hinting at experimental alloy trials conducted in 2009 at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. And though unconfirmed officially, numismatic researchers point to the existence of several other unusual 2009 specimens, though none nearly as complex or valuable, indicating that some form of deviation from standard minting practice was underway at the time. And while countless 2009 AD pennies exist in everyday circulation, the existence of this one profoundly flawed specimen demonstrates how even in an age of precision and quality control, the perfect storm of human oversight, mechanical error, and historical circumstance can converge to create something truly extraordinary. And the market responded accordingly when this coin surfaced at a high-profile auction, drawing international attention and setting off bidding wars among private collectors, institutional buyers, and numismatic historians, eventually selling for an astounding $62 million to an anonymous bidder believed to represent a consortium of collectors. And since that sale, the coin has not been publicly displayed but remains the subject of intense interest, speculation, and even controversy within the collector community, with some advocating for its placement in the Smithsonian or the ANA Money Museum as a one-of-a-kind artifact representing the intersection of modern minting, historical design, and the unpredictability of machinery. And while thousands now search through their spare change and 2009 coin rolls in hopes of finding another such anomaly, experts agree that the exact combination of errors found in this single coin is unlikely to ever be replicated, making it not just a monetary marvel but a singular masterpiece in the realm of coin collecting. And as we reflect on this astonishing find, the 2009 AD 1 cent coin stands as a testament to the mysteries that can still exist in modern coinage, the incredible value collectors place on imperfections, and the enduring appeal of Lincoln cents in the American imagination, because what began as a humble penny struck to honor a historical legacy has become a numismatic legend, and it reminds us that treasure still exists in the most unexpected places, sometimes hiding in plain sight within our pockets, drawers, and jars of forgotten change.